Starting with businesses, UK firms, especially in the architecture sector, face many problems. Farm energy costs rose by 34% and motor fuel by 30% in early 2022. Labor shortages worsened as 67% of the seasonal workers from Ukraine were blocked by the martial law. Overall, 29% of the businesses cited economic uncertainty as one of the biggest obstacles. The construction sector contributed £6.4 billion to the GDP and supported nearly 89,000 jobs. However, high mortgage costs and high interest rates causes borrowing to be expensive. Construction output dropped by 1.3%, which is primarily due to a 5% decrease in the new work. As shown in the graph, all new work had been in a decline for 3 consecutive periods from January 2023. Speaking of housing costs, mortgage and rental costs climbed sharply, with rents rising by 9.2% annually by March 2024. Food prices jumped 30.6% between 2021 and 2024, and consumer prices rose by 22.8%, outpacing Germany, the United States, and France. Graph shows an all-time high in consumer prices index that includes owner-occupiers housing costs, in other words CPIH, in October 2022 at 9.6% due to high energy costs and supply chain bottlenecks. In response, emergency food parcels reached a record 3.12 million, and the government expanded support schemes like the Household Support Fund and Energy Bill Relief from 2022 to 2024.
The impact on the UK government was shown by the debt interest spending reaching £111.6 billion in 2022 to 2023. This has been the highest since World War II, while high inflation and slow growth pushed public spending even higher to support households and businesses with the high energy prices and the other costs of living pressures. As you can see in this graph, the debt interest is lowest in 2020 to 2021, followed by a sharp increase till 2023 from £25 billion to £112 billion, a whopping 448% increase. The government expects to spend £104.9 billion by 2024 to 2025. In the second graph, there is a spike on the gray line which represents economic affairs during 2020 to 2021, and it is to support the country during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Finally, on the international trade, exiting the EU market and global disruptions hit UK hard. Food and live animal exports to the EU fell by 23% in 2021, losing £2.4 billion. Labor shortages meant that some farms left up to 20% of the crops unharvested. Manufacturing exports to the EU dropped by 14% between 2020 and 2022, with sectors like the automotive and chemicals being worst affected. And here's a clip of BBC stating how the automotive industry was hit.
It's good that the UK government has recognised that the auto industry is at a moment in time in a real trouble and needs help. So that's really good news. The industry is at a big crossroads. There's an awful lot going on right now, obviously from the exiting from COVID, the cost of living crisis, the Ukraine war, the transition of technology from internal combustion engines to EVs, all of this going on, and then, of course, the tariff issue. And so, yes, the industry does need help, and the UK government has stepped in quickly to at least help in some way by relaxing the ZEV mandate to make it a little easier to manage the transition.